I got a question. Y'all remember how I talked about Benzino and Eminem? Nobody wanted to see that beef last week, right? Um, we talked about that, right? Then I said, damn, Benzino put out a dope diss record towards Eminem. Now, I do feel like somebody wrote that for him because I've never heard Benzino rap that well before. But all of a sudden, he got bars. So, anyway, fast forward. I want to show y'all something because I have a question. Is the culture turning on Eminem now in 2024? I already felt like they were before, but is the culture going to cancel Eminem? I've been seeing this video surfacing. Fair use, by the way. But listen to this.
What tapes?
Black girls and white girls just don't mix because black girls are dumb and white girls are good chicks. Right?
Benzino and Maze announced they would be playing a tape of Eminem rapping racist lyrics.
I really don't like, we don't mix.
There was actually more records.
Yeah, where he's saying nigga and all that shit.
Because I don't like that nigga shit.
Calling black people monkeys and stuff like that.
A lot of the stuff that was on that tape never got out.
They was already trying.
All right, so putting things into perspective, years ago, back when Eminem and Benzino was beefing, Benzino happened to get a copy of some racist like album that Eminem recorded with a group that he was in back in the day. And I'm sure a lot of y'all heard it before, but it got past the culture at that time. Eminem, there was not an uproar, but it was some negative press. But Eminem, I guess, because it wasn't no social media back then, he was able to get past it. But this is resurfacing, going viral on Twitter and TikTok, and I've seen a lot of black folks saying, how did this happen? I don't fuck with Eminem no more. But anyway, this is what it's referring to. They called it the racist tape or the racist album or something like that. So let me keep playing it.
To sell the tapes way before I even think me and Eminem beef. We got to make this the same way that you guys have treated Mike Tyson.
It is an insult to the ancestors.
Kobe Bryant.
It is an insult to the race.
O.J. Simpson.
And it is an insult to every black person.
Eminem claimed he had made the tape out of anger, stupidity, and frustration after breaking up with an African-American girlfriend.
Motherfucker, what? That's your consequences? Saying I'm sorry?
I don't care if he's redeemed himself now.
I had a black girlfriend
who cheated on
me, and I was mad.
And if that's who he is, then he has to be held accountable for that.
Them tapes was going to come out one way or the other, regardless if Benzino was in the picture or not.
Because that song is what you call individual racism, where one person has an oppressive mentality, feels they're better than another group of people, and has an oppressor's position.
All right. So, man, it's making its rounds, man. And you see this comment right here says, oh, wow. So this is why Eminem and Benzino beef started. I look at M different now. And I'm quite sure this is probably this looked like a younger girl, T. Latrice. So, and you look at this comment right here. It says he was 16 years old. He had a black girlfriend that dumped him, blah, 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 blah. She says, man, what that got to do with being racist? No matter the age or if he apologized, it's in him. Because if it wasn't, he wouldn't even have did it. So, man, I've seen this on Facebook, and I've seen a lot of black folks going in talking about this. And we let this get a pass back then. Black folks let it get a pass, but like I said, he was on Interscope. That was a powerful record label at that time. He had 50 Cent. He had the Dr. Dre cosign. So it was a lot of factors that contributed to him being able to blow past this and being good with the black community. But times change. You remember back then, this whole thing with Cat Williams talking about, men wearing dresses. And within the last few years, we've been against that. However, when Martin was playing Big Mama's House, nobody talked about, oh, that's a black man in a dress. When Marlon and Shawn Wayans were playing in White Chicks, nobody was saying, oh, they're wearing dresses. That's emasculating a man. You know what I'm saying? And then when Martin was playing Shanae, all of that back in the 90s and early 2000s, it wouldn't look down upon. But now in 2024, if you got a show as a black man and you put on a dress, oh man, it's going to get bashed. It's going to get bashed. It's a different time. So I bring that up to say, is the culture turning on Eminem now? What does this mean? Because it's a lot of people who didn't know about this back then. See, because I'm quite sure Eminem and Interscope had this wiped away for a certain period of time, or it was out there, but it just hasn't resurfaced. Y'all know when stuff happens, stuff can resurface that people have forgot about, because this was like 20 years ago, but now it's being brought back to the forefront, and Black people seem to be, I ain't gonna say outraged, but it's getting a lot of attention. And for the new listeners, they're looking at it like, Eminem said this back then. What? And how did we let this get a pass? So what does this mean? And for the white folks who, because I know white folks are going to be commenting, just because he was young and was mad at his Black girlfriend, what if I did the same thing to you? If I got mad at my white girlfriend and said that all white people are trailer park trash and white people are this and that, you know what I'm saying? Like, how would I look? Wouldn't you be offended? Young doesn't mean anything. He was old enough to know that Black people wasn't shit. He was old enough to say nigger. He was old enough to say that Black women ain't shit. He was old enough to have a Black girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Now, people make mistakes, no doubt, no doubt. But you being that enraged and you making a whole tape, a mixtape dedicated to shitting on Black folks, come on, man. Come on. So, and I'm a fan of Eminem's music. I'm a fan of his work, but I can't let this slide. I can't let that slide. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad this did resurface, because certain things are going to happen. See, people didn't know this wasn't the start of Benzino and Eminem's beef, but Benzino threw this out there during the beef. And it wasn't a big outrage. It was, see, I feel like if somebody else would have done this, it would have been different. But we already looked at Benzino as kind of a lame anyway. I'm just being honest. Not saying he is, but it's Benzino. And people look at him as being goofy. People look at him as, you know, he ain't got no neck. It's always negative more than positive. But if you had somebody like, if Dr. Dre, somebody who put him on, put this out, you know what I'm saying? Or 50 Cent or somebody like that, then it would have been a different situation. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that shouldn't have got a pass back then, and it shouldn't get a pass now. It should definitely not get a pass now. What you say, ego is a hell of a drug. Absolutely. It is. Oh, okay. Yeah, you talking about PM, you talking about that Megan Thee Stallion track? Man, get out of here. You say his label buries it. Yep, for sure. And he had 50 for sure. But we shouldn't have as Black folks, we shouldn't have let him get a pass from that. Should not have let him get a pass for that. And it's resurfacing. Like I said, the Generation Z, everybody now is starting to look and be like, man, like, shit, how we let this get a pass? So I'm asking, where do y'all think this will lead? Will Eminem get canceled from the culture? Now, of course, you can't, I don't believe in cancel culture, but what does this mean? Do you think that they're turning on Eminem now? Let me know in the comments, ladies and gentlemen, what you think.